All right, welcome back to part two of our interview with Evelyn Harry Hanson. Harry, who all did you race against that you consider to be really tough competition throughout your career?
Oh man, there's a bunch. Well, Leon Plank for sure. Be Nesbitt, Hinkelmeyer. Oh, Tom Stiting, and I race against Girardi, and it's there were so many guys that I raced against that were good.
So you raced against a lot of your older school type drivers, and being that your career lasted so long up to until today, you raced against a lot of the modern uh, new
Yeah, we
school
raced
drivers.
against, like I say, a lot of the older drivers, and then now the newer drivers with Kanta and the boys like that. Of course, he's not young anymore either.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there were Detskys, and
So you got to race against a lot of different people.
yep,
Okay.
just really great drivers that they could be driving for any kind of team nowadays.
Yep. Are there any fellow racers out there that you thought uh, helped you better your career by being just a good racer that was a challenge to race against?
Well, I guess just trying to beat the Hinkemeyers or even the Pravos and the Kittners and the guys that are around here. We really do have a really group of good racers from the area. The Wosleskis were good. I mean, and uh,
In generation after generation of some of the same names.
yeah, the Vessels were good. Now, like I say, I mean, Stevie was a hell of a late model driver. Now his kid bought my car, so I mean, hopefully it'd have been cool to race against him. But yeah, I got to race against second generation drivers. I was racing against grandkids for crying out loud. Like Travis Budislavich. I mean, I raced against his grandpa for how many years, and now I raced against him, and he's a good shoe too. And you got Daryl Nelson. I raced against Billy Nelson when I was a kid, and now look at Daryl. I mean, he's
There's
one of the best.
there's a slug of good racers out there handing it down.
Yeah,
Father to son.
which is cool that they
Yep.
they recognize their parents and got into what they like doing.
Yep. Throughout your career, did you have any bad wrecks or major engine problems that almost made you throw the towel in and say this is not for me?
Well, the year I had the X car, and I blew 10 motors that year, it was like at the end of the year, I thought, why am I doing this anymore? And then we ended up, I saved some money, got a good motor, and we actually started going better. And
Your love for the sport kept you.
yeah, I just loved racing. It was, I probably lost more money than anybody ever lost, but it was just a thrill of getting to drive that race car every weekend. And we got a little better at it, so it was more fun.
Okay. Is there any race that you had in the bag and for whatever reason it just slipped through your fingers that you wish you could have back?
Well, there's been quite a few, I guess, but the one I remember, it was our rival Provenzino. We were in Grand Rapids for a Challenge Series race. It was probably 4 years ago now, something like that. But, I never won a Challenge Series race, and I led the whole thing, and we got the white flag, and I thought he was going to go try high, so I dove to the high side to block him, and lo and behold, down he come, and he got me at the line by about 2 feet, and he won the race, and I got second.
Those are bitter pills to swallow.
That was a tough one. I watched
Every
Bravo sit there smiling in victory lane, and I had to look at him. It's like,
every racer has those.
yeah.
You won almost every race that I can think of. Many different point championships and things like that. Is there any particular race that you've always wanted to win, but just were never able to do so?
Yeah, there's two of them. I never got to win the Northern Nationals. I've raced in almost every one there was, and I've gotten close, but I never won there. And then I always wanted to win the Punky, and I came within about 5 laps of winning that 5-6 years ago. But
So that's probably another one that slipped through your
that one
fingers.
slipped through my fingers. I got up in lap traffic, and I couldn't get by him, and Kanta found a lane on the outside and zinged by me, and I ended up second.
What are some of your accomplishments that you are most proud of?
Well, I suppose winning the Minnesota 100 was pretty big. I mean, I think we're the only Northern car that's ever won it.
What year was that? Do you remember?
2000.
2000.
Yeah, so
I remember
that was a big race for us. We were really a nobody still, but
I remember that very well.
going down to Cedar Lake and race against the best of the best, and to win at Cedar Lake was pretty big, and then let alone win the Minnesota 100. So, so that was one of the biggest accomplishments. But I guess just winning got being to win a lot of the big invitations. We won 4 Labor Day shootouts, which is pretty cool. I mean, and we just last year, or I guess 2016 was our last one we won there, which is recent. So that's a cool deal too, winning in front of our hometown. And
I remember you won that one. You're running second behind, I believe, Brad Osborne, or I might have his name wrong, but
yep,
it was an Osborne.
I think it was. He was from Thunder Bay,
And he was number 3, and he had smoke rolling off his tires the whole time. And
yeah, I remember we had a restart. I can't remember how many laps were to go, but I looked at his tires and he had nothing left. And we come down the front chute and they give us 2 laps to go, and all of a sudden I seen it. I mean, the tire looked like it was going to explode. So I went to the outside of him for some reason, and sure as heck, coming into 1 and 2, his tire went, and we drove around him and we ended up winning the race.
so that was his moment of a race slipping through his
that
fingers.
one was that was probably a bad deal for Brad.
Yeah. How have you raced for as long as you have and been as successful as you have for so long, all the way to the end of your career? Most people are unable to keep up that type of pace. What do you credit that to?
Just for the love of the sport, I think. I mean, I've had good people helping me and a great wife to back me up. And at the end here, we had my buddy Pat. He helped us out with the car, and the 2 of us kind of dug in and just kept going for 2 old timers. And but I always wanted to go out on top when I left, and kind of this year we had a really good year. So it was. When it's your time to go, I guess it's your time to go. But,
So it takes some good pitmen, good sponsors,
yeah,
good
we've
cars.
had great sponsors over the years. We had great help.
Is there anything about yourself that you feel helped you? Like, do you have a good mechanical ability with the car, ability to set it up, your experience in general, your driving ability from being so experienced at it?
I think we just got so good at the dry slick. Jimmy Mars taught me, and Chris Mars taught me a lot about driving on dry slick tracks. And from that day forward, it seemed like we just got better and better on the dry slick. And that's what enabled us to keep going and winning the races we did.
All right. Well, this concludes part 2, and stay tuned for part 3 of our interview with Harry Hanson.